Hey guys, it's Izzy and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be answering all your questions about my car. I thought I'd answered them all when I did the video about how I got my car and also the adaptations on my car, but in the comments of them videos there is actually quite a few questions, and then I also asked for some more on my Instagram, so I thought I'd basically just clear up any confusion, answer your questions, and yeah, basically just get you guys all cleared up. So before I do get into the questions, I just want to address something. I have already spoken about this on my Instagram because I feel like it's a very important thing to mention. So my video of my car adaptations actually got quite a few views. It's hit over like 400,000 views. Now obviously when you get more views on a video you attract new people, and a lot of them people were males. I didn't have to say this without me sounding sexist. Basically, I have been the target of lots of sexism, which is unusual. I mean, I'm used to people hating on me for my disability, but my gender as well. I mean, while we're at it, may as well just hate on everything about me. So yeah, I wanted to address a few things. The first thing that was commented quite a lot on the video was basically just any abuse, saying that females are awful at driving. Firstly, that is just really sexist. Secondly, you cannot judge anyone's ability to do anything based off anything other than their ability to do it. Yeah, you can't. Whether that is gender, whether that is disability, which we are going to go on to talk about in just a second, you can't. So yeah, I hate to, you know, be sitting here talking smack about all the males that watch that video, but it is all the men, so I'm sorry. But yeah, think before you speak, people. It's not very nice. You know, I have stuff going on in my own life. I really don't need to be the target of sexist comments online. So yeah, firstly, if you're going to be sexist, please leave. Secondly, I had a lot of people commenting on the video saying that I was being unsafe driving as someone with a disability, and that I was unsafe. I was putting my life in danger, and I was also putting other people's lives in danger by thinking that I was okay to drive on the roads. Now, firstly, please don't judge my ability to do something. You don't know how capable I am or how incapable I am, so yeah, let's just not do any of that. Secondly, I would never do anything that was going to harm myself or other people. That would just be completely irresponsible of me. Before I even got my car, I went and had an assessment done. This was a medical assessment that basically showed not only what adaptations I would need on my car, but if I was actually fit to drive. Now, I haven't really mentioned this because I didn't really think it was necessary to mention. I didn't realise people really saw me as that useless and that incapable, but yeah, apparently they do. So yeah, I had a medical assessment done to check that I was fit to drive. Also, when I applied for my provisional licence, I then had another medical assessment done to again check that it was safe to give me a provisional licence to allow me to drive on the roads. So, I'm not doing anything irresponsible. I'm being taught exactly to the book on how to drive. It's completely safe for me to use the methods and the adaptations that I have got to drive. And yeah, I'm completely capable, even though I am a female, and even though I have a disability. I'm completely capable. Those were the 2 points I really wanted to mention before I got started with this video, because honestly, I was gobsmacked at how old-fashioned some people's views are, you know, but I guess that's what you get for being a woman in the 20s. Right, let's get on into the questions. So first one, a lot of people had questions about how I reach like the center console buttons and stuff. I don't really know how to explain how I reach them other than I just can. I have really good dexterity with my arms. I basically treat the end of my arms as if they were like a finger, so I literally just go and press the buttons. But I have like automatic air conditioning and stuff, so obviously if I want it hotter or colder in the car, that does it. I wouldn't do my air conditioning whilst driving because I have one arm on the steering wheel and one arm on the accelerator or brake, so obviously I can't use my arms for anything else, which is why it's got an automatic function. But if I was in the car with other people, which at the moment I am because I actually don't have my licence yet, I'm still just learning under my provisional, so I always have someone in the car with me. So as of right now, I just say, can you make it colder or hotter? So the next one is, have you started your theory revision yet? Yes, I have. I actually have my theory test in September, so I have started revising for it. I actually also had people asking what I'm using to revise for it. So I have the app which is called Theory 4 in 1. It basically just teaches you everything you need to know. I think it was at like a £5 on the Apple store, but it's really, really good, and I'm really glad I've got that. It's what my driving instructor recommended me. So yeah, I did buy that, and I do have my theory test booked in. I'm just waiting to do it. How long did it take you to learn to drive? Obviously I haven't actually passed my test yet, but I picked it up very, very quickly. The first time I went out with my dad, I was able to drive, but like not really capable. But by my first driving lesson, I think I'd been out like 3 times, and by my first driving lesson I was able to pick up doing things such as my indicators, basically do more multitasking whilst I'm driving. So yeah, I did it really quickly. What car do I have? So I actually have a Ford Focus. It's an Active X range, which allows me to have loads of the really great features on it, such as keyless entry. So yeah, that's the car I have. I absolutely love it. What's my favourite feature on my car? My favourite feature is actually the keyless entry. It's just so useful for me to be able to walk up to my car with my key in my bag or in my pocket and not have to get it out to get into my car, because that would be something that would be quite fiddly for me to do. So yeah, it just makes it 10 times easier. And a lot of people had concerns about like how safe it is. It's still like safe and secure. Like, it's locked outside right now with like the alarm on and stuff. Just means that it's a lot easier for me to use and access, which is great. Did you ever doubt your ability to drive before you started lessons? Not really my ability to drive, because like I said, I had an assessment before I started driving with my own car, so I knew that it was possible. It was more just a time frame thing. I'd been sort of told, don't be put off if it takes you like a year. It could. Obviously everyone's an individual with a disability, you know, everyone's different. So yeah, I didn't know how long it would take me to drive. I didn't know whether it would be harder than the average person or whether it would be, you know, the same. I just didn't know, so I wasn't sure on the time frame. So yeah, I doubted if I would be able to pass, for instance, by the time I went to university, but not if I could do it or not. Is it harder to drive? Now obviously I have never driven like normally, I guess you could say. I've only ever driven how I drive, so I don't see a difference, and I think it is relatively easy. Obviously I find it easier to drive because I have an automatic in comparison to how some of my friends do, because they drive a manual. But I don't personally think it's any harder than the next person who drives an automatic, because it's just what I'm used to, and how I've learned driving is with the adaptations. So to me, no, it's not harder. Someone asked if the cup on the wheels were optional. No, not really. I didn't have too much say in some of the adaptations. Some of them I did have a little bit of say in. However, some of them, if it's necessary and like that's how you're going to be safe, then no, I didn't really have a choice. But I got to choose like if it was like aligned and whatever. Where are you most looking forward to driving to? Okay, so I have 2 things. One's really boring. So the first one is school. At the moment I get a taxi, which is funded by the council because of my disability. They are the most unreliable things ever, so it's so frustrating for me to have to get that to school. It's late, or you know, I can't be flexible with it. So I'm really looking forward to being able to drive to school and then having the flexibility of being able to leave when I want, being able to go and just drive home rather than thinking, oh, I'm going to leave but then have to wait for a taxi. So I'm really excited about that. The other thing I'm excited to drive to is me and my friend, hopefully if COVID doesn't ruin it, are going to see Harry Styles in March, and we're going to drive to that. So yeah, I think it's just exciting literally everywhere we go. Like even at the moment my dad will be like, do you want to go to B&Q? And I'm like, yes, because it's just so exciting, because I've never been able to drive before. Was it hard for you to get permission for your provisional? No, not really. It did take a while. I had to obviously get an assessment done with drivability, and then that assessment also had to be verified with doctors. So it did take a while, but I didn't have to like argue for it, because like I said, it is safe for me to drive. So there wasn't really an argument. It was just a case of getting everything verified and cleared that I could drive. Someone's asked if my door handles were modified. No. Obviously a car is made for someone with hands and stuff, so that is their idea when they're making things such as the door handles. But I just have over the years found a way to open the doors of a car from the inside and also the outside by just putting my arm in it like you would put your fingers in it. So can an able-bodied person drive your car? I had lots of people commenting things like this and like, oh, imagine like people like stealing her car, trying to drive it, and I'm like, honestly, like, not to encourage you guys, but it is so easy for an able-bodied person to drive it. The cups on the steering wheel and the accelerator and brake actually just unclip so easily that then they're out the way, and then it's basically the same to drive as normal. You can still use the pedals. So yeah, an able-bodied person can drive my car. When do you think you would take your test? Okay, so me and my driver instructor were talking about this morning. I think in a few weeks, maybe a month max, I will be ready to take my test. Like I say, I have picked it up really easily. However, in the UK right now, there is such a backlog of tests, obviously, because they weren't running for ages. So I'm not sure when I will actually be able to take my test because of that reason. You can't book a test right now, but as soon as the tests come back online, I will be booking one. So yeah, I'm not sure when I will take it. Hopefully by the end of this year though, I will have passed my test. So someone else has asked how I use my windscreen wipers. So I actually have automatic wipers on my car. If I do want to override them, they are just a number on my bleeper system. So I think it's like 5 bleeps. It does a few wipes, and you can also press and hold it to wash the windscreen, or like any higher is different settings for the windscreen wipers. I always just have them on automatic because that's easiest, and they have a really good sensor, so it just picks up when there's rain. But if I do need to do it, I can also do it through my bleeper system. How have the instructors been towards you and your disability? Okay, so my driving instructor is amazing. She is amazing. I actually met her through Drivability when I originally got my assessment done, and I'm pretty sure she works for them some days, but also just driving instructing. So when I got my assessment done, they referred me to a few names of driving instructors who would be able to work with me and my adaptions. So basically that's how I met her, and she's just absolutely great. When you pass your practical driving test, can you get the dual control taken out? Yeah, so as soon as I've passed, I'm going to unclip it because it literally just clips out, and then at some point when I have time, I will drive over to Des Gosling's, and they're going to take all the mechanics of it out of my car, because obviously I won't need it anymore once I've passed my test. So loads of people seem to have questions about my seatbelt. I didn't mention this in my video because I didn't have any adaptions done on it, and yeah, it's just a seatbelt. So I've actually managed to find a way to do my seatbelt without any adaptions. I literally just grab it and put it in. At some point when I'm in my car, I will show you how I do it, but yeah, I just do it how anybody else would do it. So that's my seatbelt. And then the last question someone asked is, how comfortable are you feeling with driving? Now, it actually surprises me how natural it feels to drive for me. I've only been driving for just over a month now, and yeah, it feels like I've been doing it for years. I feel really confident doing most things. Obviously, if I go up to like a scary junction or have to do a scary turning, it does stress me out a little bit. But overall, it doesn't make me nervous to drive, and I'm not a nervous driver, which I think is really good, because I think the more confident you are, the better you are. So that is most of the questions you guys had about my driving. If you do have any more, leave them in the comments. I'll either answer them or do a part 2, depending how many questions there are. But yeah, driving lessons are going great. Hopefully I'll be passed by the end of the year, and I flipping love my car. I think that was it. So if you guys did enjoy this video, then make sure to like, comment, and also subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!